Okay, I felt like we were in Lethal Weapon. Was it on 3 or after 3? Because when you said 3, I hit it.
It should be fine.
Okay.
What's up, nation? Hope you're having a fantastic week. My name's Josh.
And I'm Nick.
And this week in PermaTreat, we're going to be talking about the bee apocalypse.
Ooh, we're talking about zombie bees? Is it like Rick Grimes going to come out and save us?
3 hours later.
No.
No?
We're not talking about zombie bees. I wish we were talking about zombie
That would be
bees.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Zombie bees. Could you imagine walking outside? Bzz, hey, it's a bumblebee. Ah!
Now, do the zombie bees get attacked by the killer bees? Or the Africanized killer zombie bees?
Ooh, now we're talking mean. Copyright. Script written.
Now, actually, we're talking about an article written by John Entine on April 17th, 2008, titled "The Bee Apocalypse Was Never Real, and Here's Why."
Nice.
So, if you want to just get into it and...
Yeah, let's see what old Johnny Boy had to write about here.
Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy, you probably get mad,
I'm sure he likes being called Johnny
Actually,
Boy.
we're actually reading a very stewardy article. Maybe I should wear my scientific glasses.
There you go.
Now, do I look at the lens like this, or can I do this? Or maybe once in a while, let my head turn? But then I can't see because I'm kind of fuzzy. So I guess I should take them off.
You can do it however you
How
want.
about if we just kind of...
I'm not cutting this out.
Can we chew?
I would not chew.
So, everybody out there, if I point at the camera, it's serious. But if I put it down, we're relaxed.
Yep.
All right, let's get back into John. I'm sorry. Did you just spit tobacco?
No.
What was it?
My foot was getting caught. And so I looked
Is
down.
it a zombie bee?
It was a zombie bee.
I'm not going to lie.
Does it turn us into zombies?
I was about to say, this pen is going to stab you if you start changing your eyes.
What's your promise now that you will take me out if I start turning into a zombie bee?
Can I just one time look at
We're
you and
never going to get to the article. It's just going to be all about zombies.
Can I look at you and go, Carl? Okay, sorry.
Stop now and just put the makeup on and everything.
Okay.
All right. That'll be post-production.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to...
Well, let's talk about this. We actually did an experiment in our own office. We walked around, and everybody's always talking about how beneficial the bees are. And they are. Don't take this the wrong way. How beneficial they are. We need to protect the bees because, they pollinate.
End of the world.
End of the world.
Yep.
If they're gone, we're done. We can't feed. We die. We turn into zombies. So I guess technically it's an apocalypse. But anyway, so what does it mean when they pollinate?
You asking me?
No, it's kind of a rhetorical question, but you were next to me, so I asked anyway. But what does it mean when they pollinate? So we had to go back to elementary school, and Mrs. Smith, who hovered over me at my desk, and, little Nicky, what does it mean when they pollinate? So, America, what does it mean when they pollinate?
Comment now down below.
Oh, Mrs. Smith. Pollination is the process when plants get busy. That's why I spent a lot of time in the principal's office. But no, seriously, the definition of pollination is when the plants have the ability to make seed and reproduce when the pollen fertilizes an egg cells to make new seeds.
Okay, so it produces more plants and it helps, the fruit and everything.
Makes little babies.
Makes little plant babies.
I like to call them baby Groot.
Makes baby Groot. Yes. Yes.
But
this is how baby Groots happen.
yes. So basically, it's how plants make seeds. So yes, it is extremely beneficial when the pollination process takes place. And though bees are, and it's proven or it's stated that they pollinate 2/3 of the plants that are out there in our ecosystem. But don't forget, birds, bats also pollinate flowers as well.
Mammals? Anything that eats?
I don't know.
Well, no, I guess they wouldn't pollinate. They would eat the apple and then the seed falls into the ground and start a new plant that way. I guess it wouldn't really be pollination.
That'd be like a messy eater.
Yeah.
That's like Mrs. Apple yelling at Baby Apple to clean up their dishes.
I'm just still focused on baby
There's
Groot
starving
right now.
people in this world, and you're dropping seeds on the ground.
Okay, so
Sorry.
bees are helping out with the pollination.
Yes.
Is there actually a bee decline? And if the bees do decline, I mean, is what's all going on? What's this? What does study show? What the article say?
You know, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. In this article, they went back to 1995. All right, and graphic right here, you can see it, to where this line doesn't have much of a change, as you can see right here. It's pretty steadfast between 2.5 and 3.0. Again, this is a source, the USDA annual report that Johnny Boy put in his paper up above, showing how, is it a myth? We don't know. We're not here saying it is or isn't. We're just delivering the information for you to look into a little bit deeper. But
Actually, sorry to interrupt, but right below the graph, it talks about from 1995, there was 2,648,000 bee colonies in the nation, right? In 2017, there was 2,669,000. So there's actually 20,000 more bee colonies. I mean, that doesn't seem like much of a decline at all.
no, not at all.
You know, I mean, it dips a little bit, but it's kind of like a wave. You know, it goes right back up. So
Another thing I thought was pretty good in this article, and it's something to think about here, it says, honeybees aren't the cute symbol of the natural world. Actually, that environmentalists make them out to be. Well, that didn't really make sense. Start back over. First of all, honeybees aren't the cute symbol of the natural world that a lot of the environmentalists make them out to be. Yeah. Everybody thinks bumblebees are the cutest thing in the world, and they are cute and they are beneficial. But actually, they're managed species like livestock. There are so many beekeepers that have bee farms, and they ship them around the country, to help pollinate different crops or even nuts like almonds. So they're not necessarily just out there in the wild all over the place, and that's where we get their benefits from. So you got to look at those things too as well.
Yep. Yeah, just like like you were saying, cattle, pig farms, chickens, they're pretty much managed just like them. And so if there's an issue with any of them, they're pretty regulated. It's not just a wild group. It's not like yellow jackets,
right,
or hornets, or any of those other bees out there. And one thing I didn't know before reading the article is that they're not even native to North America or Europe.
Yeah,
they were brought over during the colonial times, and
so they have like little sticks with like little linen knapsacks.
They did. They had the hats, little bee hats, and it was like the black with the white, going around it and everything.
They have
the males had beards.
Little signs that will work for nectar.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It must have been rough. They had like a real urban part of the city where they were treated real bad. And they had to sleep on the leaves and trash cans, and they didn't have soda cans back then. It was more like
they didn't
pop.
have soda cans.
Wasn't like pop.
Did they have pop back in the colony times?
Probably not in the colony.
I think
times.
It was all beer.
Was it
beer and ale?
Yeast.
Yeah,
they just drank yeast.
I watched sidetrack. I watched a thing on Discovery Channel or Netflix or something like that where about how beer saved the world. Because once you fermented it, and I'm not a brewmaster, but
a beer
connoisseur, but the water back then they had no way of purifying it and filtering it and everything else, and so all their sewage and everything was going back in the water. People were getting sick, it was spreading disease, and so beer, once it was fermented and everything else, actually killed a lot of that, and so it was safer to drink beer than it was the water. So beer saved the world.
Brought to you by Beer Maker.
Right.
Excellent. Let's reel it back in.
Reel it back in.
Yeah, reel it back in.
So
let's talk about this. Let me ask you about this, though. Then you hear the saying that there's pesticides, that a lot of these, farmers, pest control companies, professionals, government agencies that are just spraying everywhere, and all that wind drift is what they talk about, and the particle sizes of the products that they're applying in the air are landing on all these blooming flowers, which obviously are attracting the birds and the bats, and most importantly the bees, the honeybees, in which we're talking about, and that's eliminating them. So, would you read about that from John?
He was saying that there's really, and I'm going to butcher the name of it,
neonicotinoids. I love saying it.
The neonicotinoids.
We need lights. Okay.
But the neonicotinoids that I guess are pesticides introduced into the seeds. It's a coating on the seed to help kill any bacteria or pesticides or pests that are going to eat the seeds so that they can grow to be full mature trees and everything or plants, had no effect on the bees themselves. What they found is the mites and other viruses, bacteria that were introduced into the bee colonies is really what caused any kind of bee decline in population. Okay, had nothing to do with the pesticides. Now, granted, if we're out there now, we do like a yard service, like a lot of people do. We specifically don't target the flowering vegetables and plants and foliage due to obviously the honeybees, but also butterflies and some of those helpful pollinators.
Pretty bugs.
Even though the pesticides aren't causing the bee decline now, that doesn't mean go willy-nilly with the pesticides.
Right.
It's integrated pest management,
right,
not spraying.
Does so in layman terms, basically broadcast treatments can contribute to a decline in numbers of bees and other insects, but it's not the cause of decline in the bees. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for once, the pest control industry is not to blame. Well, really, and what they found is a lot of times, because there is colony collapse that did occur a little bit in California, but what they found is because they transport the bees so much to help pollinate the almond groves, I guess.
Sure.
Almond trees and everything down there, which is real big in California. They weren't getting a diverse enough diet, making them more susceptible to the mites and bacteria and everything else. And so what they were doing is they were losing more bees during the wintertime and, having to split the colonies up, come spring to help replenish it and everything. And so once they diversified their the only thing I can think of is portfolio, but I know this, diversified the diet of the bees and everything, then it helped them survive more during the wintertime and less splitting up of the colonies, less investment of or from the farmers overall, and just better bee management.
I really don't have anything to say. You got really scientific and it was really cool, so I forgot to put my glasses on. Figured we got really glasses. Yeah, glasses are on. It's time to pay attention.
Yeah, right.
So it was good.
Bing!
It was
Light.
good.
Pay attention.
Did you know? Boo-doo-doo.
Yeah. The more you know. But yeah, I mean, I thought this article was pretty cool because it did dispel some of the myths that we've been hearing, at least in the past several years, about, the decline of bees and, where'd all the bees go and stuff like that, which is really being sensationalized by the media.
Right.
So.
Right. So we need to treat and eliminate the nuisance pests while protecting the beneficial creatures such as honeybees.
Yep.
And that's kind of what a professional company does. Okay, it goes beyond just what we call a spray and pray.
Exactly.
We take in all considerations all the dangers of what we do, but also the benefits that come with it. And as long as we continue to educate ourselves, and I'm gonna get a little plug here for John, and I apologize if I'm butchering your last name, but I believe it's Entine. So you can follow John on Twitter at John Entine. That's at JONENI. Oh, messed that one up. Follow John on Twitter at JONENTINE. John is the founder and executive director of the Genetic Library Project.
Literacy Project.
Let's do that again. John is the founder and executive director of the Genetic Literacy Project, where this article first appeared. So take a look at it, read a little bit more in depth. We kind of gave you an overview of it. Didn't want to bore you with all the specifics and the scientific detail, but we also wanted to end the bee apocalypse scare, even though it's really cool. And I think they should put that in the next TV show.
This should be the next miniseries.
Next miniseries.
Now, what would it be on? Would it be on what channel?
Should be on the Nature Channel. That's AMC. It should be on the Nature.
It's like the opposite of Discovery Earth.
Yes. Discovery Death.
Yes.
We'll make our own channel. No, not really. Yeah. I don't know.
But one thing I want to leave you guys with is, just like I tell all my inspectors and everything at PermaTreat, don't believe what we say. Well, take that back. Do your own research. All right. Always be a skepticism of everything you hear. or skeptic of everything you hear, do your own research. Use more than one source. John may be completely wrong. Maybe he has a side bias with, the pest control industry or some, foreign entity. So do your own research, use multiple sources, and, you're going to be better educated that way. All right.
And what I'll leave you with is I have 3 young kids, and I tell them every day, read everything that you can, but question all of it that you read. These are great topics to have around the table, to have at your office, or just have at the water cooler. You don't only have to talk about the next Game of Thrones show or the next sporting event. Talk about something that's really beneficial, grows your mind. So great topics. Read all about it. Question every single bit of it.
Yep. Well, do we have any other topics? Is that pretty much covered for?
That's pretty much what we have today. I think we're done twipping.
We're done twipping.
Yeah.
How are we going to do an outro? What are we going to say?
Just keep on twipping.
All right. Follow PermaTreat Pest Control on Facebook. If you are a pest control industry person, you can find us on Pet Cemetery group, PermaTreat.com, and we'll have links to the YouTube channel and everything, and links to the article and everything down in the description of the video itself. So, you can better find it and everything without having to use the Google.
Yeah, we're here to crush the myths of pest control and everything into it. So give us some ideas. What do you want to know about? What questions do you have? What do you hit with out there in the field, or what are you seeing at your home? There's so much information on the web that you just don't know what to believe. So hit us with it, and we'll dissect it. We won't give you our opinions. We'll just tell you all about it. We'll give you both sides of the story, and you take away from it what you want.
It's kind of like Mythbusters, but with pests.
I know, like
Pest.
No, that's
No, you can't say that.
Take that one out. Edit.
That's an actual company.
That is an actual company. Plug to you. Bing. But what are we? It's like, you can't say Mythbusters. What are we?
No, we are. I mean, and that's not all we're gonna do is bust myths, but we're hoping that this, and obviously this is the first podcast. It's gonna be a little rough around the edges, but give basic pest news, what's happening in the industry this week, not only with PermaTreat, but just worldwide.
Don't eat lettuce.
I'm just going to leave it at that. So we'll see you next week. We're going to try and have these published about every Friday or Saturday. We'll get on a steady rotation and schedule coming up. But enjoy your weekends. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your week. And stay safe out there.
Keep twipping.
Keep twipping.